once more and ask everyone if they could mute their phones, all right? And you could keep it on your lap, because if it stays on the table, it might vibrate. And oh, you're charging. So, so what happens is the vibration, it travels and you get it on the sound, right? So if you have your phone and you put it on mute, I know it may still vibrate. You could keep it on your lap. On the table, it's going to vibrate, right? So we're going to start shortly. We're just clarifying something with the internet briefly. So in about 2 minutes' time. Ready? No, because morning. So a blessed morning to each and everyone here again. This is the Entrepreneurial Journey Workshop Day 3. It is a sad day, but it's a happy day too as well, because this is our last day. But I can give you all the assurance there are more things to come, right? We're going to do some deep dive later on. So those that are here, you all are privileged to be part of a pioneer project. And I'm very sure that everyone here have so far been satisfied. Can I say that? Great. Lovely. This is day 3, and of course, you know, before I go any further, I always like to do what? Give thanks. You forget your rule.
Dear God, we thank you for gathering us here today. We pray that you will cover the proceedings. We pray that everyone will come out of this entrepreneurial journey workshop with lots of food, you know, mental food. Let it be valuable to them. We pray that you will help us to put everything that we would have learned into practice, may it materialize and may it benefit us well for our future business endeavors. In your name, I pray, amen.
Amen. So welcome again, the Entrepreneurial Journey Day 3. We have covered some serious topics so far, and those topics have been a blessing to each and everyone, even the persons who are not here, because I can tell you all, up to yesterday, I was approaching the streets twice. I almost get scared because I say, Lord, the way I was approached, the first guy was like, hey. I was like, yeah. He said, you the fellow with the entrepreneurial thing? I said, yes. He said, oh gosh, boy. I like what you talk about with the salary, and you could take out some. I didn't study that. So I'm going now to organize a standing order. That I said, great. That feels good. Then I was in Curep waiting on my son, and I see this girl crossing the road. And I see her smiling, and she comes straight across. But I said, I don't know the face. But remain calm. She says, hi, good day. She said, don't get scared. It's not anything. I saw you today on a program. Someone from there sent me a link. And I was trying to see if I could reach in tongue to register my business because I want to really put what you said into practice. And same thing. And that made me feel good too as well. Because it's good to know that it's not just persons that are here that are benefiting, but those on the wider spectrum who would be locked on. So thank God for technology. Again, look at that. So we're not just reaching here, we're reaching on the outside. Those that are here that shared the link, thank you kindly. Those who are locked on, welcome again. I must apologize for the streaming a little. We have been getting a little problem with the internet, but we are working feverishly on solving it. Right? But if you do see a lag in the stream, I'm letting you all know that our fine technicians and who have been doing this stream for us, which is Live Stream TT. Let me tell you all, these gentlemen work hard at what they are doing, and they have given us quality production so far. Livestream TT, you could follow them on Instagram, you can follow them on YouTube. They are going to be doing a recording. So what you see lagging at present, they're going to upload the recordings, and it's going to be the entirety. So what you may have missed, where you saw there were lags and there was missed with sound, all of that is going to be repaired and is going to be reloaded on the YouTube page, right? So if you miss something, don't worry. We cater to make sure that everybody is handled, all right? So we've been through a lot, so we're going to do a quick recap because we want to dive into a very important part of your entrepreneurial journey, which is finances. Finances is very important. That is basically the bloodstream for your business, because if your finances are not managed properly, if you do not think, as we said yesterday and before, generationally, if you do not think of intent, as I said, there's finite and there's infinite thinkers. A finite thinker starts a business for today. An infinite thinker thinks about next 5, next 10, next 20 years. And to be an entrepreneur, you must have infinite thinking. Otherwise, plain talk, you're being a hustler. You're just hustling. If you really want to be a businessman or businesswoman, you must think infinite down the road. We discussed the Johari window, and I've been getting a lot of calls to send this to persons. So once again, via Nalis, you all could log on and we will have the diagram made available. All right, and those of you all who probably want to email, you could email them and we could always send a copy to, because apparently it's something that a lot of persons now realize that this could really help. We discussed coming out of the hidden zone and the unknown window, where persons don't know about you and you don't know yourself. And understand that if you want to be productive in business, you have to know yourself. You cannot be selling mangoes and you and know yourself. You dressed in a suit, but you're going on Charlotte Street to sell mangoes. Flood come, all your shoes wet. You're watching how the others normal, because why? They are dressed the part. You know that's not you. You're only selling there because you realize you have a mango tree next door and everybody does go Charlotte Street. But you didn't realize that you have persons living right amongst you who you could sell your mangoes to right in front of your yard. So sometimes it's not just you. Knowing yourself is also knowing your location, understanding. This is where research comes in. We spoke about that too as well. Knowing your demographics. This is very important, right? Very, very important. Know your demographics. Do your research. Your brain is a muscle. It grows with use. Look at people who don't use the brain and you see what happens. Your brain grows with use. So the more positive things you install is the more positive things that would be coming out. Always give thanks. You heard Mr. Field spoke about that yesterday. Give thanks. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks. In fact, that is encouraged by most entrepreneurs who are successful. You would see them reaching out to others. Mere fact that we are here today, and you have persons like Mr. Fields, you have Mr. Ali, you have myself, persons who have understood that being an entrepreneur and being involved in business means you have to give back. You have to dispense some of the knowledge that you would have gotten. A lot of things that was said to me also is that some of the things that are being discussed here, most entrepreneurs never heard it before, because there is no forum and there's no one to break it down. That's simple for them. So, like I said, it is an honor to have you all here. Included in your package, you saw your savings challenge. I hope everyone is taking note of their savings challenge and set a date. Don't procrastinate on your savings challenge, you know. Don't be like the people who want to join the gym. I will join on a Monday because Monday is the start of the week. No. And people do that too with their business. I will start the business on Monday. Why you can't start today? What is preventing you from starting today? Monday is the first day of the week. And what does that say? And this is why we talk about if you stay in certain zones, you will remain there because of your thoughts, your thinking. Your thinking is so vital for your survival. It's so vital for your business. How you apply your thoughts. As a man thinketh, the Bible said that as a man thinketh, he doeth. You know, I'll always keep referencing because like I told you all from the get-go, I am a God warrior, if you want to call it that. So, and there's a lot of principles that are written. And if you follow, you would realize there's so much to gain within. For those who know or may not know, Ecclesiastes has a lot of business in it. Anytime you get an opportunity, read Ecclesiastes. There's a lot to begin. Faith and being strong and holding steadfast through troubles. The book of Job. Psalms, Proverbs, plenty hidden knowledge in there. A lot of things that if you read, it inspires you. So these are little principles I'm giving you that if you pay attention, if you look at it and apply yourself, you're going to see yourself prosper. You're going to see yourself go forth. Yesterday we talked about developing your idea. And you heard some stories where persons start. A lot of the times entrepreneurs see people at a certain level and they tell themselves, yeah, boy, he get through, boy. As you heard Mr. Fields yesterday, you heard where he started from. Humble beginnings. So sometimes you see persons at a certain standard, certain height, read. You hear he told you about the book that he read about Mr. Sabga. He's been reading. And a lot of the times when you do a deep dive into the persons that you might be considering to be up there, you realize that they started down there. Remember, I told you all in day one, I remember the same persons who own the cloth stores now in Porterspin and the buildings, walking with the duffel bag. 2 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards. They have it for you. They're walking around and selling. Now, instead of walking to sell, you walk to their store. That's infinite thinking. That's infinite thinking. That's understanding that I am growing something and I'm going to get there. They started humbly. Now they have buildings. So think about your business, not just for today, but think where you could take your business to in the next 5 years, next 10 years. As I told you all yesterday, I developed a program in 2013, and 2020 got World Tourism Travel Center recognition for safe travel for something that was designed 7 years before. I didn't know it was going to have COVID, that I designed something that you could book everything that you need for travel without going to a travel agency. I never knew that would have come. COVID came, no interactions, travel agencies closing down. I'm functioning. Why? I am providing a service. Think about your business as a service provider. Think of your product and understand that your product is bringing something that is an enhancement to society, whether it's singing, as Mr. Field spoke about, the tile men. Not because you put in down tiles or you're putting mortar on brick. That don't mean that that's it. Yeah, you say that some people think employee. And then there are some persons who think business. And that's the difference with being a hustler and being an entrepreneur. You might be putting down tiles now, but you know what you're considering? If I have 4 jobs coming, I'm going to have what? Where you're going to have employees, correct? And that's thinking infinite. That's thinking expansion. So developing your business, you must think expansion. Once again, I want to say it's a real pleasure having everyone here. I'm seeing some repeat faces, right? And that says a lot. That says a lot within. So I want to, first of all, the persons who have been here for all 3 days, just lift your hands. All 3 days. Nice. A round of applause for you all. Right? Who have been here for all 3 days. Those who have been here for 2 days. Rounds of applause again. Consistency. Wait, I'm going to leave out. Those who are here for the first time. Rounds of applause for them too. Consistency in your business is very important, right? A lot of the times, honestly, programs similar to these parallel are offered, but persons find it hard to attend. And gosh, 2 hours? 2 hours from your day. 2 hours from your day to gain knowledge that could propel you for the next 20 years. Tell me where you're losing. Your lunch just be an hour and you just spend it doing this. That's your hour lunch. You're biting, you're chewing, and you're flicking up. What's one day for 2 hours to gain some knowledge, some insight on building yourself? Because at the end of the day, when you provide that service, when you provide that product to society, you are also providing an income for yourself. You are now becoming a productive member of society. I told you all about the story with the little youths and they from Mova. They was planning to thief cars. Had a little conversation with them about starting a construction company because they have persons that willing to work. They don't have the education, but they have the strength. What did they do? They went and sell lollies to make up the money to go and register the business. Now they have a functional construction company. They saw the need, saw what they had, and utilized it. Sometimes your business don't have to take $1 million investment. Sometimes it just takes you investing in yourself. This here, you being here, is an investment in yourself. Correct? It's an investment in yourself. Being here. This is an investment. And it's free. Imagine that. It is free. Now, there are extensions to these programs that are paid. And that is also an investment in yourself. If you spend $300 to get a consultation for 3 hours, that could take your business to the next 5 years or connect you with the right people that would propel your business. Tell me where you're going to lose. It's like I showed you all yesterday. If you're selling wine, 32 ounces in the bottle, and you put in 2 ounce samples. That's 16 samples. But from those 16 samples, $80 for your bottle, right? But from those 16 samples, you got 3 sales. 8 trees are 24. So you might have sacrificed 1 bottle, but you just gained 3 customers. And you just provided an income for yourself. And if the 110 rule works, they're going to bring 10 more persons. Boy, that wine real lash. I want our next one. It costs nothing to invest in yourself. All it's going to cost you is this. Application of this, application of self. That's it. That's it. I know persons who start off selling phones and PS3, PS2, Xbox in a suitcase in Shogunas. Now they have 3 stores selling electronics. 3 stores. selling electronics. A simple youth. He was living here and his aunt sent about 4 phones to him. And next one sent 2. So he got family. And that's different way persons would invest in you. If they see you have the ambition, he said thank you and he started. That was it. 3 stores. Now persons would see these stores and say, oh, them boys and them, You know what he was doing? Going by First Citizen Bank and depositing, and they start to ask him about what it is he does. And he tell them, next thing you know is he's supplying phones in the bank. Opportunities. Your SWOT analysis. Strengths. Weaknesses. Opportunities. Threats. All that in your package. And no, the online people go and send a message again. Where we could get this SWOT, we'll send it to you. Sent out. Great. So I just heard from the Nalis rep that all those who would have emailed and requested the info, check your email, check your inboxes, check your spam. Emails have been sent out, so you will have the information that everyone has here right now. We are going to make it available. You could go and photocopy it. We ain't sending it to you where it is. You have to know. This is knowledge that is to be shared. You would find it kind of odd. You might be someone who has a company that does cleaning. He has a company that's selling cleaning products. He looking for an avenue to sell his products. You looking for the products to do your cleaning. And strangely enough, you all are neighbors. Strangely enough, you all live in the same community. But because you don't interact, your business stifling, your business stifling. And that is a scenario that happens a lot with businesses. It happens a lot. Some persons want to go far, but they, I ain't talking, I don't want to. You're stuck here. Hidden and unknown areas. But you're complaining. No. No. Sometimes it's a simple reach. Bro, I see you had some things in front by you selling there. Where's that? Say, well, I'm selling cleaners and have disinfectants. Serious? Boy, I just do cleaning, no. Serious? How much you will give me the product if I buy in 20 from you at the same time? Yes, 20 sold one time. You get a good product, you get a good price. Everybody wins. Your customers are now satisfied because your cleaning products are delivering what they're looking for. Your product is being exposed. Someone might ask you, where does get it from? Boys, buy it from John. True. Give me a number of him now. And that is what you call what? There's an N word. Networking. Seminars like these, workshops like these are great opportunities for networking. Don't just sit next to someone and not find out what they do. For all you know that what you need for your business is sitting right here next to you. And you didn't even say, hey, good day, I saw you was in the workshop with us. You up to now. You in shake a hand. You come, you receive, and you're gone. And you realize you're sitting amongst the person that is going to give you the push that you need or has the avenue that you need. That is another entrepreneur problem. We lack that discernment to ask or talk to someone. Me, I going at you. I'm not playing. Hi, good day. I see you do taxi service or boy, you're available. I have something I might need. True. It always has an avenue. You just have to have the eye. You just have to have that vision, that insight. Do not limit your thinking. You limit your thinking, you limit yourself. Okay? Nice. And today is about finances. So today is a day, all eyes on, all attention. Because, as I said, this is very important. Managing your finances gives you a lot of leverage, opens doors for you, and puts you in the right places with the right people. if you're liming around spenders who like to take their hard-earned money and everything for them is about a drink and something new to showcase for social media for somebody to do this, you are going to be losing a lot of ground for your business because you're going to try to match up and you're going to be bad spending, and then the money that you could have used to do something for your business, you realize you spend it with the limers, your crowd, your circle. Old people have a saying, what? Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Your friends, your circle. And as I told you all before and all too, when God gives you a vision and he gives you an insight for a business, there's a reason why he gave you it. That's yours. He didn't give it to someone else, and they may not understand why you want to do that. That's okay. He didn't give them it. He gave it to you. Work at it. Keep going at it. You fail, as I said, what? Fail your way to success. Every failure is a success because you know what not to do. You know what not to do next time. Every failure is a success step. It's all about how you apply yourself with it, right? So, we have a lot to give today, knowledge-wise and otherwise within. We have, before I bring on our main speaker, we have someone from the Pan American group, and we're going to give them a little 5 minutes to impact 5 years of knowledge in you. So, without ado, I'm going to ask the rep from the Pan American group to come forth and give you all a little insight relative to themselves and what they offer within. Let's give them a round of applause as they're here.
Good morning, good morning. Morning. We are from Pan American Life Insurance. My name is Nolita Barry. This is my colleague, Melissa Dell. Hello. So with just 5 minutes of your time, it's basically just talking about, well, trying to squeeze in as much information as possible in how insurance can help in the development of your business. Now, we have some little brochures that we will give out after, but it's more or less asking the questions, and I think yesterday, they spoke about business continuity and business sustainability. And you have to ask yourself the question of how it is that I'm starting my business, where will I get the capital to do so? And that's the most basic question for any business person. So how you ask yourself, how can I get the capital to do that? Now, life insurance, the main focus of it, not death, but the fact that you are now able to have a life insurance policy that provides you with the capital you need or the collateral that gives you or basically helps you to go to a bank and say, okay, this is my policy. What can I do with my policy? How much am I able to get because of the policy that I took out? Because I have a vision. I have something that I want to do. I have a plan in my mind, and I just need the capital to get to go the distance. There is also, in terms of business continuity, we talk about if it's a partnership, if you have a partner, person dies, you have to deal with the heirs. Everybody has an idea, business breaks down. What do you do in such a situation? The question you have to ask yourself is, do I have the money that I can buy that person out? So these are certain situations you would ask yourself, what can I do? Insurance can help you. So it's just a matter of contacting the numbers and asking for help or asking for advice. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you. Morning, guys, again. Okay, so just to chip into what she just said there, my colleague. Again, my name is Melissa. Dell, I have been in the insurance industry about a year short of a decade now, right? And apart from that, with my husband, I do own businesses. So I get this completely. And the thing that is really important as a self-employed person is protecting your right to earn income as well. Because in the event of a serious injury or an accident, you know if you're not physically in your job, what would happen to it? Unless, of course, you've put things in place. But we know that, as you're now starting off, it takes time to develop certain procedures to be able to do so. We at Pan American has a plan that caters to that. In the event of you being in an accident or you spending time in the hospital or whatnot, right, we have something to be able to help you as a self-employed person make sure that you don't lose money. And money, we know. We know what that means, right? So thanks again, guys, for the little opportunity, Brent, right? And we are here. We'll send out some flyers after. Thank you so much.
Thank you kindly. So, you see, a lot of the times as entrepreneurs, as I said, you have to be an infinite thinker, right? And a lot of the times as entrepreneurs, we are finite. Have a question? Oh, right? They are finite thinkers, and they don't think of insurance, credit union. Some of them don't even have a bank account. Sad. As an entrepreneur, and I told you all from day one, register your business, get a stamp, get a letterhead. On that first letterhead, write your request to whichever banking institution you want to go to, because you have to write a letter to them. Huh? You write a letter to them, letting them know that you would like to open a business account with them. This is your name, this is your address, this is the name of your business, this is your business address. And that same stamp that you made for your business with your registration, you stamp it. You're going to need that to take it to the bank. That's your first letter you're putting on your letterhead. And get a bank account open for your business. It is imperative, especially in this present fast-paced society that we are living in. You do not want to have a great idea and you have $20,000 in a Klimpan home and you want to get more funding and you walk in the bank with your Klimpan and the security pull you out. You want to know what this madman doing here with this Klimpan. Yeah, but I want to open my account. Yeah, but you need this. All of that, you just hear that. All of that I had to do, register business. I had to wait 2 weeks for them to find the name. And then, tell me, if it takes you a month to get everything organized, to make sure for the next 10 years you could be sustainable, tell me where your losses is at. This is our entrepreneurial problem, eh? Thinking infinite. It is an entrepreneurial problem on a real. Most of them want to see it now and do understand that it takes time. A lot of times people tell you about the fast. I am not one of those. Sorry. I am not here to provide what I call a microwave mentality. Cling. Spin for 2 seconds. Ping. And you open the door. Meal is ready. No. That is not entrepreneurship. It is going to take a lot from you. Sometimes sleepless nights. Trust me when I say that. Sometimes sleepless nights. Sometimes less meal. Sometimes you have to put aside a little more money to go by the doctor because you know what you would have done to yourself. Sometimes it means changing your eating habits. There's something called intermittent fasting. I'm not going to deep dive into it, but I'm just telling you, try it. It teaches your body a lot. It teaches your body a lot, and it's also good for you. Deep dive into it, that's a whole nother topic. But as an entrepreneur, always look at all the avenues, right? All the avenues that are available, and they are available. We have in our midst today, once again, the Entrepreneurial Journey Workshop is here to provide that insight, information, upliftment, all that you need. This gentleman, dear to my heart too as well, is also a philanthropist. He is a consultant. He's a risk manager, and he's the former Chamber of Commerce president of Chaguanas. This is the levels of persons that we want to bring to you all to give you that knowledge and insight. So, without further ado, I want to bring to here, to the center, to the stream, to you all, our live audience, Mr. Billy Ali.
Thank you very much, Chairman Brent. And good morning again to everybody. It's really, really a pleasure for me to be here this morning to spend a little time with you all, to get to know you a little bit better, and hopefully to be able to help you along your path of entrepreneurship. So thanks for having me. Thanks to the representatives of NALIS, Ms. John and others. And I really was looking forward. I always look forward to spending time with entrepreneurs, would-be entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs. I hope sooner rather than later. All right. So I know we're supposed to be talking about money, but I just want to first I want to show you all a magic trick. You all like magic? Yeah. All right. So let's do a magic trick, right? Because I really had I was thinking about how to approach, this in the most practical sense for you all today, without a lot of academia behind anything. And so I had some ideas in mind. And then speaking with Brent and listening to Brent and, some of what has been said, and even with regard to your, today, monetizing your business plan, I thought that I'll show you all a magic trick first, right? So this little thing in my hand is called a smartphone. I'm hooked up to the internet, and my search was monetizing your business idea. And it says, here are some practical tips to help you make money from your business idea. Conduct market research to see whether there's an audience for your business. Read about your market. Carry out business research. Interview potential customers. Research the competition. Test your data. Develop your idea into a business plan. So we done for the day? Yeah. I don't see any difficult over that. Right? So Brent is telling me I have to walk with the mic. I know I speak very loudly and my mouth big, so, but I guess for recording purposes, yes. So you see how easy that was? Everyone in here has a phone, and, thank goodness for Google and, technology and everything else. We have information, we have data, we have answers to questions at our fingertips, all right? Brent was making a comment earlier on. It all depends on how you use this and what you use it for. It's very powerful. It all depends on how you use it and what you use it for, right? So I am not a big social media person, right? They forced me to use WhatsApp, some time ago. So I'm on WhatsApp. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram. I don't know if you have to register for TikTok. People send me TikTok videos, but I don't know how you have to register to get them, and so on and so on. So I prefer to spend my time, doing, reading, looking at things. I love documentaries, right? I love things that does research and all of that. So we're here to talk about monetizing a business idea. Brent, you remember I gave you some stuff to give in your bag? Just, can I have a few, please? All right. How many of us in here are already entrepreneurs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? Don't be so shy. Right? I remember 5, 6. Great. So we have entrepreneurs here already, right? And how many are close? Yeah? Got the idea and just waiting for something, right? So let's see. So we have entrepreneurs and you have door closer, close. If I say TTSC, we're talking money. If I say TTSC, what comes to mind? You win a prize, right? The Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, right? And I want to have some fun because we're here to talk about something very serious. And I am the type of person, how I describe myself, I was a late starter in school. I started taking school seriously after school, right? So I know what it's like to sit through a lot of long, boring lectures and everything else. I think late in life I realized I suffer from ADD, right? Because while my teachers will be teaching, my mind will be football, cricket, table tennis, lawn. I just thinking about how fast, when this bell going to ring, I would be getting nervous and all that, right? So I just wanted to get out of the room, right? So, and yes, I mean, I was fortunate to go to the best school in the country, Shogunas Junior Sec, you know? So, you know, yeah, so let those who believe otherwise, continue to believe it, right? So we're thinking money, right? Who said that they were about to start? So what are you looking for to start your business? Right, so what are you looking for? What do you need to start? Right. You want to become a manufacturer. Right. Capital, right? Okay, excellent. Can you name me 5 banks? No helping, right? Too long, right? Yeah? Yeah, right? So, you wanted to start. So, can you name me 5 banks? No, bank. Yeah, next. So what's the point, right? Right? We're looking for money. We need to know where the money is, right? Right? The money is in the banks, right? Excellent. So I'm not going to give out this prize, right? So can you name me 5 credit unions? That's being honest. That's being honest. A prize for that. He didn't even bother to start, right? Anyone knows what capital market broker is? You're close enough, so you win another prize, right? They're stockbrokers, but I know that they also, they're investment companies, stockbrokers, market broker dealers, and so on, right? Right? It's a slight difference, but you're close enough, so you get the price to it, right? So, anybody remember the name of the company these ladies work for? Quickly, without looking at it. So I'm saving this one, so we're going to use it somewhere along the line, right? So folks, why I'm doing that to get your mind focused on something, right? So that the important thing is that if I'm looking for money, right, obviously, the first word that comes to your mind is bank. Okay, if I'm looking for money, I think about the banks, right? However, it's not that easy when you're an entrepreneur, as we know, because I believe if it was that easy, right, many of us would not be sitting here, right? We would have been on our way, right, and so on and so on. I have lots of very close friends in the banks, from low to high positions, colleagues that I've been in the industry with for many decades, and I've listened to many people in many conferences, things that we have done and had to attend, and how disappointed they were when they went to the bank. But you see, we can't blame the banks if you don't understand the purpose of the bank, what they're there for, what their products and services are for, right? And so on and so on and so on, right? The banks are not there to take equity positions in your business, right? And so on and so on and so on, right? So where do we start? How do you raise capital for your business, right? Anybody want to just hedge a guess and give me just 3 basic ideas for raising capital for your business? Mm-hmm. 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 Good. Anyone else? Excellent. They in the business of money, so I'm expecting answers from this side of the table, right? So anybody else? Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Anybody else? Excellent. 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 Anybody else? You all are the next generation. How about crowdfunding? Hmm? Right? Yeah, crowdfunding, right? You're looking, is that look means? Oh, yeah. I thought as much, right? Yeah, yeah. So I saw it in your eyes, right? So we'll cover a couple of those, right? So we have an idea. Brian said, God gave you that idea, it's yours, and now you want to develop that idea. You did your business plan, and you did your market research, and you have, within your business plan, of course, you have all the obvious things, right? What you need to start, where you're going to locate, if you have to pay rent, if you're going to manufacturing, what equipment you're going to get. You have already sent off emails and gotten quotation from suppliers of equipment, and you know what's going to cost, what the duties are going to be. You have everything. You have all that done, right? And you have that in the form of a business plan to say that this is what for the next 12 months, and then you can extrapolate 24 months, 36 months, right? Many times, the banks, if we think in just the bank for now, or the credit union, traditional sources are lending, right, 36 months, right? So you have everything that's necessary to say to someone, this is the idea, this is why it will work, this is where I've tested it. Remember I said market research just now. Hey, and you know what I even have included in this plan? I even have some letters, right, from, because I was going to, this idea that I have, right, is for a catering business, right? And I already spoke to the people at Nalis, right, who told me that on a monthly basis, they buy $1 million in food because people like to eat in here, right? So we have lots of functions and, seminars and everything, so we have to have snacks, right? So I have taken my product to them. They know my price, they know my quality, they tested it, and they told me as long as I get up and running, they can give me a monthly order of blah, 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 right? So we have all that in place. So how do we raise money for this idea, all right? Well, we can start from the most obvious place, from our own savings, all right? But what about if I didn't have a job before, so I couldn't save, right? So scratch that one out. I never had an opportunity to save, but I don't want to go and work. I want to be an entrepreneur, right? Just like I never wanted to go to school, right? Well, since when I was 11 years old, I wanted a car parts business, right? So, yeah, right? So, but I had to go to school, you know. Couldn't tell parents back then, you're not going to go to school, right? This thing called entrepreneurship, you don't want to hear about that, right? So, so I don't want to work, but I need to have this money for this idea. So it goes into the next stage, family and friends. Can I go to my family and friends and say, present my idea to them? And always remember, be very serious about this, even when you go in to your family and friends. So that's what we're addressing. Yeah, yeah, that's what we're addressing, right? Ah. But before that, you heard what I said. Let's be serious about this, right? So you're not going to go to your family and friends and say, hey, Brent, listen, this is while you and Brent on Frederick Street walking, you know, doing some shopping, somewhere, whatever it is, right? No. Brent, I would like to see you. Now, first of all, I hope that you would have done your research to know that Brent can probably help you. In other words, if you're looking for money, that Brent is a family member who have some money, because we don't want to go to a family member who have no money, okay, right? So you go through that obvious selection process. So we identified Brent has some money, all right? We're not doing this casual because we're talking business. We're talking business, and we have to be serious from day one with this. So you've documented everything, right? And although Brent is your first cousin, right? You have to present this idea to Brent in the most professional way. Not in a casual way. Not, lend me somebody in a boy, I know this thing go work, you know, when I tell you I believe this thing, about I dream this thing going to work, you know, if I tell you, right? You have to present this in the most professional way, right? To spark some interest from Brent, right? And like most human beings, I'll protect myself by saying most, right? Because Brent will want to know what? What's in this for me? Right? Okay? Right? Because Brent love you. Because we're good, you know. Right? But how I get back my money, right? And what's in this for me? Right? So you have to be prepared to present that to Brent as though you were standing where I'm standing today, presenting it to would-be investors. Everybody remember Shark Tank and, you know, other TV series like that, right? So all those things are excellent learning, right? There is so much to learn from that, right? And if you go and get back some old episodes, right? Because today the reason why I am just throwing out everything really that I was going to talk about and, you know, try to be a little bit more practical with you all, right? Is because of the time constraints and really thinking about how deep this is. I mean, each one of these bullet points I'm giving you, we can probably extrapolate on it for 1 hour, right? So that's how deep you can go into it and how serious it is. Because this is your business, this is your future, right? This is nothing casual, right? I don't want to work, but I have this idea, I believe in this idea. When I say I don't want to work for somebody else, I want to work, right? Okay, I want to work, right? I'm not lazy, right? I want to work, right? But I want to be an employer, not an employee. I have a dream, and I want to make it happen, right? So that idea has to be presented in that format, right? So that's your other place, right? Friends, family, and so on. But I don't want to continue down that road too much because I just want to touch on the others, right? But you all get the picture where we're going with that, right? If Brent says no, well then select some others. If you feel brave and you want to have a chat with Brent, and then you also want to talk to Uncle Tom, right? You understand? And Sister Mary, right? Who married to a rich husband, your brother-in-law, that sort of thing. And if you want to get a few of them in the room together, right? Well, then you can also do that, right? It depends on how confident you are at presenting your idea, right? And how do you build that confidence? Of course, you build that confidence by because you already believe in your idea. You did your market research, okay? You tested it, right? Don't just do the plan to please yourself. Because remember, this is your idea. All along, you already have in your mind that this is going to work, right? So what you have to be prepared for when you're selling this idea to someone else, right, is through the eyes of that other person, right? They're going to ask you some questions that may seem very, very obvious, right? And you may want to say, are you stupid, right? But no, right? They have a right to ask you those questions. And they may know the answer, it may just be rhetorical, right? They may be testing you, or they may genuinely didn't know the answer to the question. So treat it seriously, all right? Treat it seriously. So you did your presentation. What are you offering, Brent? What are you offering, Brent? How you want this money? You're looking for $1 million, right? Have you decided whether you want a loan? And if so, based on the numbers in your business plan, have you showed in there that you want to borrow this $1 million, right? And you factor in an interest rate of X amount for so many years of payback, right? Okay? Have you done all that in your business plan? It must be there, right? So you're looking for a loan. Are you looking for a loan, or are you looking for equity, right? What is equity? All right? So I want to stick to some of the most common forms for today, right? I don't want to get into a whole sort of thing with structured finance and, different debentures and notes and, all those things. Let's just keep it simple for today, right? So we're thinking debt, which is a loan. That is like going to the bank and asking them for the $1 million, and you want it borrowed for 5 years or 10 years, whatever the longest is, they will give you it for blah, 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 right? Or equity, right? So that you are saying to Brent, I need this $1 million. All I have is the idea. I've already done this work, and I need to borrow $1 million from you, right? And Brent says, well, so what portion of the business am I going to own? How are you going to respond to him? Nah, me, I want no partners. Nah, Brent, I really didn't want no partners, I just wanted to borrow that money, boy. I'm not looking, my mother and father tell me to have partners in business now. The amount of stories we hear about that, people is rob one another. Me, I want no partners, now, boy. How many times have you heard that, right? Okay, right? Just remember something, and that's a long, long topic again. If you don't do it right from the foundation, you're going to hear those stories at the end, all right? There is nothing wrong with partnerships, right? Some of the big, before I say that, so I have a question to ask Holly again, right? So, but there's nothing wrong with partnerships, right? Or having shareholders, in your business, because that is what allow Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys to become the multi-billionaires that they are, not trying to hold on to everything for themselves. So at this stage, when I'm trying to help a lot of people like yourself, I say to them, listen, I know this is your idea. This is your baby, right? And you would really like to own 100% of this company, right? you really don't want to share this with anybody else. Because listen, you know where this thing is going. You're going to be making serious money, right? You know? And all I'm looking for is $1 million, and I'm going to turn this into $100 million, you know, and Brent telling me now that he wants 51% of the business. So he wants majority shareholding, you know, and that gives him control at board of directors level, and so on and so on and so on. Those are things, each one of these bullet points I'm giving you all, right? Structure in your business, your board of directors. We don't have time to go into all these things today, right? But control, because if he has 51%, he has control of your business, right? But he can also say, what's your name? Janelle. Janelle or Jonelle? Janelle. So Janelle, so this is Brent speaking. How much money you put into this? Now, Brent's smart, you know, right? So Janelle responded and said, I come to my friend, some Pan American. Janelle responded and said, but Brent, but it's my idea, right? You understand? I ain't put no money into it. Well, tell me now what you're thinking, right? What do you think is one of the possible things that Brent may say to her? You see how fast family they start? See how fast quarrel they start? Right? All right.
What if Brent doesn't need to own any of the company, and we say Janelle says, well, how about some regular returns, which amounts to $1 million, and then some however much more he wants?
Yeah. Debt. So that's debt, right? That's a loan, right? So lend me the $1 million, I'll pay you back just like the bank. This amount of interest over so many years and so on. So let's call that debt. That's a real easy one, right? I'm getting into equity for a reason, right? Because just in case, debt is always so much easier to structure, to look at, to factor into the business plan. This conversation is where a lot of heart comes out, right? You know? And a lot of negotiation takes place, okay? So Brent is wise. So he says, Janelle, I went to school, you know, junior sec. So you're not putting any money into this business, right? But you should be doing this. I taken all the risk, right? And so what you really risking? Yeah, right? And you already set up your face like you set up now, you want to cry, you understand? Right? So Brent, were you telling me you want 90% of this or whatever it is, right? It could be, if I was him, I want at least majority shareholding. Right? Because you so far, all you have is an idea. Right? It means a lot to you, but my money at risk. All right? So you will decide with Brent. Now, one other term, you can take note of this. When you are at this stage in your negotiations to factor in, there is so Brent can come in and say, I want to hold 100% equity in the company. Let me give you two things to discuss with Brent. Number one, the value of your idea, the amount of work that you have done, market research, preparing the business plan. You would have paid an accountant to do it for you. A friend may have done it for you, but whatever it is, you have to put value on all of that, right? And then there's another term that I want you to take note of, and the term is sweat equity, right? Sweat equity, right? I have already put a lot of sweat into this, right? To bring it to where it is. And that has value. All right? And the other thing you want to say to Brent is that, Brent, I am the chef. Remember, there's a food business. You're not a chef, right? So for this to be successful, right, this business needs me, right? So there's value in that too, right? Because you're not just saying that we're going to hire a chef to do this. This is your special recipes, right? Sweat equity, idea, right? So you have to sit with Brent and put a value to those things, right? So you see, so we're progressing, right? So we get to that point, and let's just say you decide on 60-40, right? So Brent owns 60% of your business, and you end up with 40%. This equity capital can be structured in a way where it doesn't have to be permanent. All right? So, you can say to Brent up front that I would like to become majority shareholder of my company in the future. I don't mind keeping you on because you're helping me right now. So I want to get to a point where we're going to flip the script, where I want 60% and you will get 40, and here's how it can happen, right? So you can show to Brent that we're going to develop a 3-year exit strategy. So take note of that. What is your exit strategy for this equity? Whether you want to get rid of Brent altogether, right? Or whether you want to keep him on because you really grew up with him, he's your favorite cousin and he's helping you right now, and you want him to be part of it because you also realize that Brent has some things that he can bring to the table apart money, right? He's good at marketing, right? He has a network. He was talking about that earlier on, that he might be able to open some doors for you, etc., etc., etc. So you just don't want to leave that on the table or shoot yourself in the leg for that, right? We want that too, right? So your exit strategy. Do you want him in there as majority shareholder for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, right? You now are going to have to look at your business plan and factor in, based on your cash flow, your profitability, right? Your dividends. What is dividend? Anybody know what dividends is? Not interest, but return on investment, right? But, you're close enough. So you win another imaginary pen, So, what it is, right? So what it is that dividends is simple. So you will hear news from the stock exchange that, so-and-so company made X amount of profit, right? $500 million in gross after-tax profit. And for doing so, the board of directors have decided to pay a dividend of 50 cents per share. It means that every share you have in that company, you get 50 cents per share, right? So if you had 1 million shares, well, do the math, right? So, so you can, in your document, because remember we said we're doing this the right way, always family, and we put in everything in a proper legal document. This relationship is $1 million. It's not a little bit of money, right? Okay, it's $1 million, right? And we want to know the exit strategy. You looked at it, and you want to show Brent how, with your dividends that you will be earning on your shares, right? Okay, and let's do it very easy, 60-40. So let's say in the first year, you guys were really lucky, right? And after everything, you made $100,000, right? And you want to keep some money on your balance sheet because you want to start building. You want to start building the balance sheet of your company. You just don't want to take everything out of it, as far as dividends, right? So let's say, for example, it was $200,000. So you got $200,000, easy maths, right? And you say, you know what? We're going to keep $100,000 in the company, retained earnings, right? And we're going to dividend out $100,000. How is that 100,000 going to be split between you and Brent in the first year? Thank you. Right? Remember, it was 60-40. So he gets 60,000, right? And you get 40,000, right? So then you're going to start, you could say to Brent that, Brent, based on my dividend returns every year, right, I intend to repurchase some of my shares. All you see your bacchanal start already, eh? Right? All you see your bacchanal start already, eh? Right? Right? This is Brent's cousin that went and asked Brent to bring his money and come to the table, you know. All of a sudden is that how he getting all that money, right? Bacchanal, you know. Bacchanal, you know. Right? You know, they say you can't have your cake and eat it too, you know. But bacchanal. And that's why it's important to understand what equity is, what equity capital is, what it represents, what majority shareholding is, why you have to have a board of directors set up, and your bylaws, the bylaws of your company, right? What it says about majority, what they can and can't do, minority, how many directors you have on the board to look after your interests, etc., 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 etc. That's a day, right? Now, I did say, before you can pay dividends, right, you have to pay at the end of the year. You do your audit of your company, and all that is included. You already paid everybody. You did everything you had to do, right? And your net profit, meaning after you did all of that and paid taxes too, your net profit is $200,000, right? And you and Brent get together and decide that let's keep $100,000 from that in the company to start boosting the balance sheet, right? And we're going to dividend $100,000. And that's where he gets that 60,000, right? So don't be jealous, right? You know, don't start looking at the man money and counting the man money and going by Auntie Jean and saying, Brent lend me money, don't realize I would rather pay him more than myself now, you know, and all that kind of thing, right? That's family bacchanal. Because don't forget one thing also, Brent is not working in the company, right? You're the chef, and most likely you're the CEO of the company. So you are being paid a monthly salary, right? Okay? Brent is not earning anything unless you decided that Brent is going to be the marketing manager, right? Okay, or the operations manager, right? And then he gets a salary for that too. All right? Because it's best you pay Brent than go and hire a stranger. All right? Okay? So this thing, equity capital. So we know we can possibly get some from friends, we can possibly get some from family, right? You can't get it from the credit union, right? Banks are not, they're traditional lenders. They don't normally, unless it's a very, very different, structured finance deal, So how do we get this? And that is where the term that was used earlier on, angel investing, right? That's another source for equity, angel investing, right? You find an angel investor, right? Or venture capital, right? We don't have a very mature, robust venture capital market in Trinidad and Tobago, right? So whenever you're looking for equity, right, it really comes down to some, those few sources, right? Friends and family, or you went to a capital markets broker who took your business plan, right, with the pure numbers that the accountant did and everything else you did with it. And then they would know, they are they are deal makers, market brokers. So they would now take your plan and create a roadshow for it, right? Similar to Shark Tank, where they're now going to put you, you're not in the comfort of knowing Brent is your cousin anymore, but you're dealing with total strangers now. So they are going to put you in front of some of their private investors, because these companies have money that they want to invest. All right? Trinitum, he's correct. It not sitting, sitting down. Right? So it's there. Listen, nobody wants idle capital, right? If you have $1 million, you just want to have it under your bed, or do you just want to have it in a savings account in the bank, earning next to nothing, right? You are looking for opportunities to invest this money to make that work for you, right? So there are people with individuals and companies with a lot of money that is looking for investments. Now, isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? Look how surprised you look, right? Isn't that strange? So everybody's in this room looking for money, and guess what? There's money looking for everybody in this room. All right? And that's true. Believe me, it's true. Right? There's money looking for you. Right? Everybody knows the Unit Trust Corporation. Okay? So, you have the two schemes. One is fixed income. One is they do that. How do you think they get returns on investment? They invest in things. All right? They not only invest in fixed deposit and what we call secured, instruments and so on, but from time to time, they may take, they are managing money. That's what a mutual fund is. It all depends on what the mutual fund was set up for, right? So that's another topic, right? Mutual funds, right? When you give your money to be managed by the manager of a mutual fund, so you may have a mutual fund that says that we are a technology mutual fund, right? So anybody in here with an idea that is along the lines of technology, right? You may have an idea where you want to be a developer, you have a new software, you have a great idea for software, whatever it is, anything along the technology line, you know that you can go and approach the manager of that fund, right? Because then he can take a position, he can have equity, he can make an investment into your idea, right? So the great news for everybody this morning is that not only are you looking for money, but money is looking for you, all right? But most people with money work very hard for it. And they don't just want to give it away. Some people do, right? Charities, foundations, all that, they give away money, right? Philanthropy. And you can also look for those too, because that's another source, right? Grant funding for your idea. Whether it's a government grant, right? Yeah. Whether I wouldn't repeat what she just said. I hope nobody from NITCO is listening, right? NETCO, sorry. Right? So we'll talk about that, right? So, so nobody wants to give away. Nobody wants to lose their money if they make an investment. They're looking for a return, right? And that is why I said from day one, this entire process, I know sometimes, and I'm a little like that, my mind is running 100 miles down the road. Boy, to stop and document this whole thing and sit and write up and do this narrative and this summary and, all this, I really have to do all this, man, when I could be out there selling my idea already. I could be out there making money already. Well, in order to get to that stage, to make money, you have to go through this painful step, right, of doing all these things. Okay? You have to, right? There are grants available for things. I believe one of the biggest untapped sources of money to do things in the renewable energy sector, right? Just go and talk to Google for a little bit, right? When you get home, and start Googling that, and you will see that there are international funds that are set up, right, to give grants and to fund great ideas when it comes to protecting the environment, renewable energy, and things in that sphere. So if your idea is in that area, right, you can even start making international connections. It all depends on how big that idea is, you know, the purpose you serve and everything else, right? So you read about it, they'll tell you who they lend to, which projects, what they like, what they don't like, that sort of thing, right? So in looking, you don't have to limit yourself to our borders, right? For now, I'm just thinking quickly as it relates to equity. That is basically how that private equity, that's what you call it, that private equity works, right? Anybody have any questions they want to ask along those lines, right? And all that sounds very complex and complicated, right? It could be very simple, you know, right? It could be, my idea could be, I want to bring in a 40-foot container of these funds, right? Okay? I may not have to go and do a whole business plan, right, and all that. If I just sit down and do the numbers, hey, listen, go back to Brent. Brent, I know a couple of companies that need these funds. But it's real hot now, boy. People need funds, right? And I talk to some retailers, and they need funds. They're not getting enough, right? If I get this landed here, by November, I get in the whole thing sell. Look my supplier. Look how much I'm paying for it. This is it. Simple, on one sheet of paper. You might be able to convince Brent, right? Because you may say, listen, it's not a big investment, you know, I need 50,000 US dollars, right? You know, so immediately, container comes in, it goes out, I give you back your money, right? So equity investment, it doesn't matter how small or how big your business is. We may want to get into a car wash business, right? We sit and we discuss partnership. It's always about who is bringing what to the table. Everything has value. Who is bringing what and what value we put on it, right? Okay? But make sure and get it right at the foundation level. Make sure and get your agreements right at that level, or else, that's it, or else, right? Other traditional sources of where you can get debt financing, loans. I think everybody in this room is very familiar with the credit union sector. The credit union sector is plays a very, very important part in our financial landscape, all right? It's a cooperative, so it falls under the Cooperative Act of Trinidad and Tobago, right? And it's where, you know, groups of people, different groups, so you may have, for example, different ones with different names that probably says where they came from, right? So you may have Clico Credit Union, which used to be right up the street here, right? And so that was for the employees of Colonial Life decided they got together and formed a credit union, and every month they start taking money from their salaries and saving, and then, you know, based on how much you save, based on how much your share value is, they will tell you how, you know, how much you can borrow from the credit union, all right? Whether it's 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times your share value, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's very easy for anybody to find out. I guess you can look at their website, so you can go into a credit union and talk to a professional, a representative from the credit unions, and And of course, over the years, the credit unions have been doing different things, including giving loans for, cars, expensive cars now, land, homes, So they have also gotten, have evolved. But again, financial entities are regulated differently, right? They are regulated under the cooperative sector, so they will have limitations of what they can and cannot do. So don't get vexed with them, right? That's the point I'm making, right? It's just like, don't get vexed with the bank, right? If you are not prepared to deal with the bank, right? Because at the end of the day, right, you are doing what? You are applying for a loan, right? You're asking for this, please. They have to approve it. And one of the major things in them examining your business plan, of course, is your ability to pay back, all right? Even if you are going to borrow simply to buy a car, all right? Your ability to pay back is what's important. They have certain ratios. So they would say you are earning $10,000 per month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, right? You currently pay a mortgage for this amount, right? You have whatever other expenses you have, they will sit and go through that with you. And at the end of the day, they look at how much is left. And if they give you this additional loan, how much your monthly installment on that car is going to be, and if it is going to take you over a particular threshold, over a particular ratio, all right? Okay, is your ability to pay. Someone said something to me the other day. They said, but boss, I went and applied to these people for a loan. You go believe them? I given them a piece of land to hold, right, for $1 million, and all I want is $200,000, and these people tell me no. That sounds hard to believe, right? Well, it's very simple. We just dealt with it. He did not prove to them his ability to pay. Right? The bank is not in the business of selling land. The bank is not just going to give you a loan because they're holding something that's valued $1 million. Let's say they did their checks and they spoke to a proper a professional real estate person, and it is valued $1 million, and so on. They have to meet certain criterias, right? Because remember something, folks, they are operating in what we call a regulated industry. Banks and insurance companies, right? Credit unions, they are regulated. They just can't do what they want to do, right? You would be surprised, right? Because you see those two tall buildings down the road there, right? Okay? The CBTT of Trinidad and Tobago, right? Believe me, right? You have a lot to answer for, right? There are rules to follow, there's laws, and there are things that you can and you cannot do, all right? And that is for the security of everyone. Because remember, the bank have depositors. You are looking to borrow from the bank. But the bank also have depositors. That's where they get money to lend, right? So in the first instance, the institution will be responsible for protecting the monies of their depositors, right? Okay? Because they're basically taking their money to lend you. Right? So all these are things that when we sit and we having conversations, right, understanding both sides of the coin is an important thing. It will save you a lot of heartache. It will save you from getting upset with the person sitting on the next side of the desk, right, and wanting to fight and cuss and all of that, right, or leave it your temperature really high, right? And also, what is important is that if you understand what they require, well, then you will be better prepared when you go through the door. All right? So really understanding what they require is also important, because you might be going through the door only thinking what you want, what I require. Right? But it's very important to know that the person who is sitting behind that desk, that's not their money. That's depositors' funds. All right? It's very, very important to understand that. All right? Compliance, you have no idea. I know everybody hates it when you go to the financial institutions and they give you a list and they say, get all these things for me and come back. 2 forms of ID, utility bill, da, 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 da. And you go, what on earth all you want all this for, right? Well, no man is an island, and we are not functioning alone, all right? We are part of an international financial system. We are, okay? And there are international rules and laws and, all those things, right? And these things are updated as things evolve. I can tell you, after 9/11, you know how many demands was placed on the banks and the financial institutions, right? Because after that, the whole thing about terrorist financing came up, right? So we have to really try to understand the system that we're dealing with. And that's why today I really wanted our interaction, our first interaction, I hope it's not, because I always make myself open and available to people that want to do something with their lives, right? That, want to become employers, right? And not employees. I became an entrepreneur very, very young in my life too. And, I would like these 2 ladies to stand, please. Please. This is the first time we're meeting. And Brent was talking earlier on about networking and how to capitalize, from wherever you go and that sort of thing, right? And so everybody in this room have life insurance? Had. So let me do it the other way. Who in this room does not have life insurance? Raise your hand. Does not have. It's okay, be honest. That's okay, right? Does not have. Who in this room does not have health insurance? Show your hands. Right? Right? Who in this room does not have some sort of income protection insurance? So, Duncan, you're getting me out here, Duncan, we live streaming, put up your hand, right? You understand? Yeah, so, and believe me, I hope that these 2 ladies are not going to let down the insurance industry. And I hope that before they leave this room, they're going to have your names and your contact numbers. And I hope that they will be doing a follow-up call with you. And don't treat them. I tell people, life right now is about narratives. You ever realize that? You create a narrative and put it on social media, and lazy people who don't like to do research, they start repeating it. Realize that, right? Right, good. So you hear some people saying, oh God, boy, them life insurance agent. That woman called me 10 times for the day. I fed up her she. I'm going to block she, right? And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. Well, I want to tell you all something. It is folks like these 2 ladies, right? And someone else in the room, I'll tell you after, right? That is responsible for billions and billions and billions of dollars of savings in this country and other countries around the world. It is because of those nagging phone calls and getting you all to save, to protect yourselves, to protect your families, and to protect your assets, right? You have no idea, right? I understand fully sometimes the attitude that is belted out towards them, the nasty comments, all right, and everything else. And I applaud them. I applaud the industry because you can pick up the balance sheet of of the insurance companies that are listed in Trinidad and Tobago, right? We have had some failures. No industry is perfect, all right? And we have had some failures, but we also have an industry that we can continue to be proud of, all right? It is solid, it is stable, all right? Our financial sector, right? I am very, very comfortable working in this sector, right? And you know, it gives a lot of confidence, because even if we go back to 2008, we go back to the stock market, the crash where big banks in the US disappeared overnight, then you know, then there was 9/11 and so on and so on and so on. And our sector have survived, right? You know, all of that, right? So I want you all to understand what they do, what they are trained to do, and how difficult their jobs are, right? And I can guarantee you at the end of the day, as long as they do their jobs the right way, because we have also had many instances in the industry that people like us, we feel ashamed of, because there have been people who have disappointed us, right? In selling you something that probably they didn't understand, or for whatever other reason, they probably sold you something that is not what they told you you're buying, right? And like with everything else, you would go to a restaurant and you buy your favorite meal and it tastes bad. You're not going to stop eating it. You may go somewhere else and buy it again, right? Okay, you like Chinese food, you go to one place, it ain't tastes good, boy, I ain't going back there, I'll go somewhere else, right? Well, it's the same thing with all these businesses, please, you know. But I just wanted you all to give them a round of applause, really, right? Because it's hard work, right? And I love to tell people, there's no better place to be standing to say that that is hard work, right? And if you have been through it yourself. So I went down the road and I came back. So I'll just give you a little bit now of who this guy is, right? So best school, junior sec. And then I was told that computers gonna change the world, so go and study computers. Go and study computers. I mean, that's, you know, your poor parents and your elders back then, that's all they knew, right? Go and study computers, you know? So study computers and came back and I started working for the largest life insurance company in Trinidad and Tobago and the region, then Colonial Life, right? In information technology. And it is from working in the IT department all the way started ground level. And I mean ground level, meaning I started on the ground floor in the computer room as a computer operator. We were the guys loading the tapes and changing the paper and the printers and, you know, all those things, right? In those days, it was mainframe computers, so our computer room was fairly large, all right? Fairly large, right? Because you had tape drives and disk packs and all those things, big, okay, IBM. And I spent 2 years as an operator, and then I was promoted. I became a junior systems engineer, right? So then I went to the second floor, right? And then I really fell in love with life insurance. And I remember when I decided to resign my job, right? This was early 92, 93, early 93, right? Everybody thought I was mad because Microsoft just came out, Windows just first version, the name Dell is now appearing on the, on the landscape. And I had people saying to me, you resigning your job to go and sell insurance? I mean, with scorn, with absolute scorn, all right? You know, and, you know, I was so excited. I was like, that was my business idea. I want to sell insurance. That was my business idea, right? Because I am in love with this thing. This thing blew my mind, you know, when I sat down. I mean, I remember my insurance agent back then. I probably asked, I'm working for the insurance company, and I probably asked him that question when I was buying my first policy about 10 times. I want to understand this. I want to understand this. So I remember my premium. My premium was $200 a month, and the sum insured was $100,000. Right? I said, I just want to grab this. Right? So if I pay you $200 this month, right, and 6 months from now I die, my beneficiary going to get $100,000, right? Yes. How does that happen? You know, right? How does that happen, right? And then we'll get into all the other things about insurance and reinsurance and all the other things that allow those things to happen, right? Insurance is a lovely long topic that I'd like to take you all through because, and I will even get some of my friends in the industry who are much more technical than I am, especially on what we call the general insurance side, all right? That's things like motor, homeowners, liability lines, marine, aviation, all those things, construction, oil and gas risk, all those things, right? And there are a lot of people in here, I guarantee you. Is there anybody in here who think they understand? By a show of hands, who drive? Right? You own your own car? Right? Okay? Not yet? You own yours. Right? Who else? You own yours. Right? Do you know everything about your third-party policy? All right? And I do that to tell you this. It's, again, to appreciate them. I'm not laughing at my colleagues. These are my colleagues because they are in the life business. All right? Okay? Moto is on the general side, or what we call property and casualty side of the business, right? And it's very technical. And something as simple, there are people who come up to me many times, boss, all I want is a third-party insurance. Yes, and our car is an old car. I don't worry about, if I fix, I'll fix it myself. I only want something to show the police when they stop on the road, right? And anytime you facilitate that, and you don't take the opportunity to really educate that person, that is where, again, if you don't do it right up front, what it's going to create down the road, right? And that's where a lot of, people get a bad name for a lot of things. In that case, the insurance agent or the insurance company or the insurance broker would also be at fault for costs down the road if they didn't take the time to educate the client. Because you are not going to come into my office and say, all I want is this. I don't worry, just get the best premium for me. Next door down for you. Right? You have to sit and listen to my 5-10 minutes boring conversation, right, about third-party insurance, right, if you want to become my client. Because we have to understand each other up front. Because I know when time for the claim, you ain't going to come in the same way and say, all I want is this and don't worry about it. You're going to come cussing, right? Okay? Education is very, very important, right? That's a whole topic. These are serious, deep topics because Brent said it earlier on. My colleagues earlier on were talking, and she said something about, what about if you and somebody in a business and somebody die or you want to buy out their shares and so on and so on and so on. It's called buy-sell insurance, right? So remember we were talking about equity investment? So let me just show you this very, very quickly to show you how these things make sense and how it ties in, all right? So Brent owns 60% of your company, right? God forbid, what about if Brent dies? What happens? You laughing, you already have his money, what are you looking so sad for? You can't wait to bury Brent, right? You understand? Yeah, you had to worry about that 60,000 you're talking about just now, right? But the serious part of it is this. Brent ain't stupid. Brent have a beneficiary. And Brent just leave it for one of his children or his wife or something. And guess who don't get along with the wife? Janelle. All right? You understand? So Janelle now in business, and Brent's wife is her boss. Oh. Right? Yeah, so all them things you went and write on social media, Facebook, about the woman. who is boss now? You know? Yeah. Who is boss now? Right? And all you had to do was to put in place, because you don't have the money, right? Because you can't buy out all his shares 6 months already died. So what you would have done, risk management. So not a big topic, right? So you would have took out insurance on his life with the company, so that God forbid something happens to him, right? You have money to buy the shares, right? Okay. So there's a lot of things to do with that. It's exactly 12 o'clock. I just wanted to, give you all a couple little bullet points, right? So like I said, yeah. So started in IT, decided to sell insurance, sold insurance for about 18 months as an agent, and then me and the people close to me, we decided that we want to become brokers, right? So go to the other level, right? Difference between an agent and a broker. The agent works for a company. The broker works for the person, right? And so the broker has access to the whole market, etc. So we wanted to become brokers. And then after about 6 years, I wanted to do something else. I terminated my partnership. That's when I became an entrepreneur. When I became a life insurance agent first, that's entrepreneur, right? Because we taking all the risk. We going out there. We don't have a salary to start to work with, but we decided we're gonna start, right? And then as a broker, and then I went into my own consultancy, and then I was called to be the managing director for one of the local insurance companies that unfortunately found themselves in a lot of problems. They became insolvent because of problems at their parent company level. And I was able to, with myself and my team, great bunch of people, my staff, who I still love very much, we were able to keep that company alive, keep it solvent. It's still alive today. And then I moved on from that, went back into consultant, and I was called to go into another company that became insolvent and was able to keep that one alive and then sell it to another company that's now doing business on the market, right? So I have a little bit of experience in insurance, right? All right, so Pan American is the company that bought out the portfolio of Algico. You all remember that name for those of us who have a few gray hairs, right? And so you read about it in your history book, right? So big international company, of course. So yeah. And while all that was happening, life was very busy, and but also what kept me very busy. I want to go in a little bit more to something Brent touched on this morning, because it's very dear to my heart, and if I don't talk about it, I'll feel as though I wasn't even here. Right? Two things. One is networking, right? And I need a lot of time for that. So we're not going to go into the value of it, why you have to do it. And the other thing is giving and giving back, right? I think I've already given to somebody what I call NGOs, right? And like, for example, business organizations, about 25 years of my life, right? I started in chamber work, if you want to say, at the Couva Point Lisas Chamber of Commerce, right? And, a place that, again, very, very proud of where the chamber was back then in the early 90s, where it is today. I think I spent 11 years on the board there. And then in 2010, I joined the Shogunas Chamber, and the company I was working for was a member. I joined in. I became, the president in 10, and restructured the board. Brought on a few new people also who became presidents after me also. One of your ministers now in the Ministry of Works, Richie Sukai. Richie was my vice president. He was president after me. Then Mr. Vishnu Charan, as you all know, who is Charan's Bookstores, and now a banker. Mr. Baldat Maraj, right? So I'm talking about where I've been. But what I want you all to understand, and I came off the board, I think, a year or two ago, so I finally getting some time, right, to do other things. And that's work. First of all, you don't get paid for being on the chamber board. You don't get paid to be the chamber president. You have to continue doing what you are doing, and you have that work to do. And trust me, it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work, right? And like I always say to people, you ever hear somebody say, well, you know, I sit on that board, or Miss John, she just sit on that board. I always tell people this. I don't want anybody sitting on a board next to me. If you come to sit on a board, you come to do nothing, right? So you come to work, right? And there's a rule. It's a little, you know, in my head and somewhere along the line, you know, I must have heard it somewhere. And I guess most of us who are involved in giving back and NGOs and these things, we know it. You will always find, so don't get vexed with people, right? In organizations like that, you tend to find 10% of the people, they do 90% of the work, right? So why am I telling you that? If you're getting involved, don't get involved in the chamber just because you're here. Well, you're supposed to do that, and you want to join because these business people are there, and you want to rub shoulders, and you want to go and get leads to call for business, and so on and so on and so on. When you join with a given spirit. Do it knowing that you are going there to serve, not yourself, your membership in the first instance, right? Your community and your country, right? This is not about going in to see what's in it for me. But I'll tell you this. It's like, I believe there's a rule in the universe. Regardless of what religion you are, regardless of how you worship, right? But as long as you believe that there's good and evil, you know what I mean, right? I believe there are certain universal rules. And I believe that I was going to tell you, don't just think in terms of what's in it for me, right? That was Brent line for his $1 million, right? But if you go into something like that, whether you're going to the Rotary Club, you want to join Rotary, whether you want to become involved in the Cancer Foundation, right? Any one of those things, right? You want to go and give to be part, you know, go and give to the orphanages, old age homes, whatever you're doing in life, right? This is my belief. It doesn't have to be yours, right? But I believe as long as you approach it with that spirit that I am here to give, there is a automatic rule. That's my belief about that. And the automatic rule is that as long as you do that, right, it will come back to you multiplied. I believe that, right? I believe that with all my heart. You know why? Because I'm a living testimony, right? I go into places, I go into offices. Sometimes I go where I'm going to places where I'm going to do my job, right? Which is to, you know, sell for my company. And people that I interacted with and can't even remember, but you know, sometimes you're addressing big crowds. You can never remember everybody if you know the places that I've been and how fast and how often and, you know, all these public things, right? And then all of a sudden, you know, you'll hear, Mr. Ali, what you doing here? I say, came to sell, and of course, I don't know who the hell I'm speaking with, you know, right? And then, you know, I mean, you know, I've gotten to the point where I showed them this, right? I say, listen, you know, I'm not getting younger, so help the old man, you know, remind me, you know, forgive me if I was supposed to remember, you know, but remind me. And they start and say, oh my gosh, yeah, you were there or whatever, and we interacted. Do you know what that does to the whole meeting after that? You know? Right? It takes away a certain amount of nervousness, of anxiety, a whole lot of things, right? Because here's somebody who knows me for who I truly am. I didn't just come through that door and somebody's just going to see me, hey, another man in a suit here to sell something. Let's just listen to his presentation and send him on his way or whatever it is, right? You know, somebody who is going to appreciate that. Listen, if he's here to talk about this or say this or to do that, there is value in it. Let's listen and let's take it seriously. All right? So I really want you all to grab that whole that whole concept, that spirit of giving, right? Not given because you want to get back, right? But just know that it is, well, it's written in the holy book I read. I can't say for everybody else, it probably it is, I just don't know it, right? But, definitely, it's written in my holy Bible. I can say that, I can testify to that, right? But I guarantee you, that's that's a life guarantee, right? Like I said, regardless of what you believe in, who you worship, right? It's a guarantee that you do that, and it comes back to you multiplied, right? And sometimes it comes back in ways that we don't appreciate. So I must touch on that, right? So you might be praying for $1 million, right? And every day, you're going down the road and you're feeding all these people in the old age home, right? And in your prayers, it's like, but Lord, your girl working, doing good things, feeding the poor, I'm looking after the aged, and so on and so on. And I want this $1 million and I'm not getting it. And, you start questioning yourself, boy, am I really getting my blessing, boy? Right? From this thing, you know what I mean? This whole concept about giving, I given, but I ain't seeing it, you know what I mean? Right? I know what you're forgetting. That you woke up this morning. You're forgetting that you're not in the ward with something hooked up to your heart. You have COVID somewhere. You didn't realize that the car that you didn't go in was going to get into an accident, and that's why you were led to go in the other car. Right? Correct. Right? So you're really not counting your blessings, because you are only focused on what you want. Right? And you're surrounded by so many more that we tend to take them for granted, and we tend to forget, right? But they're the most valuable things. Life, in the first place. Your family, your good friends, all right? Ideas, opportunity before you, right? Okay? Right, so with that, I touched on, that was something dear to me, so I touched on that. I don't have time to go into that in more often, and some of my biggest learnings, I'll tell you, it's taking my time. It's taking my time to, someone may call me and they may have a problem. They want to come and talk to me. I make myself available. Is listening to them, because I also learn, right? I always tell people, right? I don't just put off people for no reason. Somebody called me and say, hey, Mr. Ali, I have this idea. I have a bicycle that we could ride to the moon, and I want to come and talk to you about it. Well, call me stupid. I say, seriously, come, let's talk. I want to see it, right? I want to be one of the first to know about it, right? So I learn a lot. And I learn a lot like that, and also I learn a lot by trying to help other people solve their problems, right? Because you have to be thinking, right? Okay, so that's important. I really have just some headlines there, and I can't even touch on anymore because I know we're out of time. But you had your hand up earlier on. You want to ask something or say something? No? Okay. You wanted to apologize for not putting up your hand earlier on? Yeah? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, listen, I wish you all, and I truly, truly, truly wish you all, and I pray to God that whatever you're looking for, right, to get to the next stage, whatever what you're looking for to make this idea a reality, right, and become an entrepreneur, become a business person, hire people, keep the economy going, right? Just remember, governments are transient, right? Governments come, governments go. Who are the people who keeps the economy going, right? Okay, just remember that. And that's why I always tell people, that's why I spent the last almost 25 years of my life on the side of business, all right? And yes, in those positions, you have to interact with the politicians from Prime Minister come down sometimes, right? But it's a partnership, and business and politics and the unions and civil society have to work together, right? We have to work together, right, to solve the problems that we all face, right? Not just one or two of us, that we all face, okay, right? So get involved, right? You know, become part of the solution, right? Get involved, make your ideas known, because a lot of times, just remember, it may be your idea that will solve something that, many people try to solve before, right? So I really, really wish you all, God's richest blessings for success in everything that you do, right? God bless. Thanks for having me.
I think a second round of applause is easy. Can I safely say that the Entrepreneurial Journey Workshop facilitated by Nalis was impactful? Can I safely say that? Can I safely say for a pioneer project that can I safely say as a pioneer project that we have created a great foundation? There is so much knowledge for these 3 links and programs. Those who are out there, you need to log on. You need to go, and it's a nice thing about technology. What you missed today, you could go back. This is one time that when you scroll up, pause your finger, bring it down, and leave it, let it run. Plug in your headphones. There's something we used to do when we were writing exams, me and 3 other friends. We used to pass exams doing it. At that time, I used our Walkman. We used to record 10 questions and 10 answers, put it in the cassette, and put on the headset and go to sleep with it. It's crazy, eh? And 99% of the times, 8 to 9 of those questions would come, and I learned something, and I tell my sons this too. The answers may vary, but the formula never changes. You could write that down. The formula never changes. The questions might be a little bit to throw you off, but the formula never changes. What Mr. Ali spoke about. You see that formula? Don't matter what, that formula never changes. Don't matter the scenario. Being an entrepreneur, there's a formula. And when you find it, trust me, you will be asking God. No, people have a way of saying, God will give you more than you could bear. And most of the time they say it because of negativity, right? But let me tell you this, there's a positive to that too. God will give you more than you could bear. So if you're thinking $1 million and you end up with 1.5, and you say, but Lord, I only asked for 1. Hush your mouth. What are you doing, the man? He see that you can handle 1.5. You now have to find a way where it is probably I could throw this 1.5 towards an expansion, or probably doing deliveries. I need to buy a van, so I'm not just cooking in the restaurant. I'm doing deliveries to find a way. God will give you more than you could bear. You have a job, but you have an idea. He do give you more than you could bear. You have to now see how I could develop this idea. He didn't give you that just so, and you're saying, but Lord, I doing typing and you sending me to go and cook pilau. He know your pilau best, and you could monetize your pilau. Even if you don't want to fully monetize with it and you have some extra income, you cook some food and you go and share. Now I have a thing with that, and I speaking it plain. I have a thing with people who share and take photos and videos. That is not it. If you're sharing from your heart, you're sharing from your heart. Some people don't want to be put out there receiving something because they are deprived. If you're sharing, share because you love the person, share because you love sharing. It don't have to be a big public grants affair and you throw up balloons and, yeah, today is my sharing day, so I'll be feeding these 100 people. No, you're doing nonsense. Plain talk, bad manners. Correct. Share. Spoke about it, giving back, as small as it might be. I have a little shop. Somebody come with a child and they're there, I give them a lollipop. I go and check and say, that's $1, For what? You know what will go on there? That child will come back. The parent coming back, or they remember. For no reason, you gave me something. I ain't give it because I want back, but because I have something for kids. I love children. That's probably why I developed 2 of the greatest children shows in Trinidad, and I thank God for that. Passion. We talk about finances today, and I hope you all really absorbed. All you get, what's now? All you know how privilege, what it is, all you get here today, The amount of questions that sure that were there, and I realize people get quiet, like, okay, yeah, that answered that question, right? This answered this. Oh, yeah, this question. Some of the questions you may not have even thought about, Mr. Ali would have covered it for you. Certain words. Rounds of applause again. You all were privileged to be live here. Those of you who are locked on, you all were privileged as well too. And those that will be watching this in the future, you all are privileged to get this information. I want to thank each and every one of you who were here and probably locked on. I know some of them they couldn't make it. To those that run away, a guy tell me, say, the reason I have to leave every day is because I only have an hour lunch. He is taking his hour lunch to come here just to get and go. And then he stays locked on. That is dedication. That is notable. You are willing to sacrifice your lunchtime to gain some knowledge. See, that is notable. So I want to take note of everyone here. And in taking note of everyone here, I want to show my appreciation to you all individually. So for those that were here for the 3 days, you just give me a stand. Get stand up. All right. When you're standing, push back your chair, right? So we wouldn't touch the right. So we have 1, 2, 3 persons. 4. Right. I want to know if your knees was hurting. Yeah, I was going. All right. Right. I want you all to give these persons a round of applause. And I will start from you first, saying that I want you to be first secured when it comes to the stand. So you could come around first. We have a token of appreciation I want to make sure and give to you all. Because like I always say, when we started off, I always say what? I like to do what? Give thanks. See, that is another part of entrepreneurship as well too, giving thanks. So, what's the name?
Antonio.
Antonio. So give Antonio a round of applause. We want to thank you, Antonio, for being here, all right, for the past 3 days and showing your dedication, all right? And I wish you all the blessings in your endeavors as an entrepreneur. Nice. Second, anyone? What's your name, sir?
Kevin Eccles.
Kevin Eccles. Let's get Kevin a round of applause here. Kevin, we want to thank you for taking the time out every day to be here at Nallis, part of the entrepreneurial journey, and I wish you all the blessings in all your future endeavors. I hope everything that you received here, you put it into practice. Right? Nice. My brother, the guy that saw bottles on the road and made 14,000, and then when they stopped putting bottles on the road, they say for carnival, no more bottles. He say, all right, I'm going to sell ice. Make $17,000 selling ice on a Monday. Thank you, sir, for being part here, and I wish you on all your future endeavors blessings. Nice. So those who were here for 2 days. Hey, no, we can't forget you. Come. You're hiding in the corner. You were here. You were here. And it's appreciated. All right? Thank you kindly and congratulations for being here. You are here. No, but here's the nice thing, right? You are part of Knowledge, and you're not just here as part of Knowledge. You came and accepted the knowledge. That are rounds of applause. Right, so those who were here for 2 days. So we will start with the furthest. Right, so you could come wrong on that. Can you pass there? Or you pass on the other side? Yeah, you could just, right. Nice. Now, that's what you call, I like that way of thinking. You realize that if you move the chairs, it's easier for your madam to come. I see why you married him, He's a gentleman. Yeah, he's a gentleman. You're working for your ring. Oh, what's his name?
Philip.
Right, Philip, the guy with all the financial answers. All right, Philip. Thank you, Philip, for being here. Right, and we wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. Thanks again. Who again? Come. And you could, the husband and wife, they could come around and get closer. All right, what's his name? Jonathan. So we give Jonathan a round of applause. Jonathan, thanks for being here. We really appreciate you. And yes, of course, and all the blessings in your future endeavors. Yeah, go ahead. The husband and wife team. Thanks for being here. What's the name?
Kevin.
Another Kevin.
Vedini.
Kevin and Vedini. How you spell that? Vedini. V-A. Vedini. What is it? Is it a specific? It sounds... You should research it. No, research that. It sounds like it has something deeper in it. Okay? You will get it. I do appreciate you all being here, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Right. Those who were here, listen, you all were here for 2 days too, so what if, look, listen, don't even try to sneak. Come in. And of course, the newcomers, don't worry, Miss $1 Million. Right? So, we want to also thank you, not just for being here for the 2 days, but also for your contribution here too as well, right? Not a problem. It's about networking. Give a round of applause for them too as well. Come in and accept. Nice. I take it also, who we missing? All right. So, persons for today. Come on, everybody gets through. This is the entrepreneurial journey, and we must do this together. Come on. You collect $1 million about 4 times already since you sit down here. Yes. What is Sydney? Right. Sydney, thanks for being here. Right. Thanks for taking the time off, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. All right. Nice. Come on. So, well, we all know her name by now. Thanks for being here, and I wish you all the best in here. Thanks for participating too. Interaction is very important, and it's good growth as an entrepreneur to not be scared to interact, and if you're called upon to respond. Lovely. All right? And the gentleman, last but not least, Mr. Duncan. Yes, man. Blessings. All right? Thanks for being here, and we do wish you all the best in your endeavors. Nice. Oh, right. Yes, just now. You would share them out, right? Right. So I want to give a shout out to a lady who was here for 1 day and had to leave early. Also took her lunchtime to escape to come and get knowledge. And she's here today. I ain't forget you. Come forth. A round of applause again. All right? I want to say thank you, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. I know your thumb's getting a rest since after we spoke. You ain't doing this no more. But you're on Amazon looking for the new job and for the new opportunities. That's it. A round of applause for everyone. The Entrepreneurial Journey Workshop. We want to say thanks once again. You all were, 1 second. All right. So I wanna give you all something, right? And you all take out your pens and take out your paper. You didn't get a pen? Ask and thou shalt receive. All right? All right? This is a workshop and it's active, right? So we keep it active. All right? So you see, it's not just about learning. You understand? It's literal practice. We don't just talk it, right? We make sure and we put it forth. I want to give you all a number, and those who are locked on, you all can take it down too as well, right? And this number is 355 7700. I will say it again. It's 355 7700. That number that I just gave to you is Mr. Ali's number. I've been given permission to give it out. You all can WhatsApp him. You can send him a question. You can send him your idea. Feel free to send him a WhatsApp. All right? And I guarantee you, this is a gentleman. If he doesn't give you an immediate response, you will get a response. Send a WhatsApp. This is part of the entrepreneurial steps too, taking that leap. It's about networking. It's about finding the avenues. It's about taking advantage of the avenues that is presented to you. A lot of times, like I told you, in the Johari window, people are scared and they stay in this hidden area and unknown area where they don't know about themselves and nobody knows about them. But they have a great idea and they're still complaining about how it's going to get there. These are opportunities. That number is an opportunity. This forum is an opportunity. I look forward to you all being in the next project. For those that want to be, I have your numbers. Those that are here, you filled out. Now, let me tell you why you got that paper that you had to hand back in that had some of those questions that were challenging. It's everyday questions, but you'd find what, oh gosh, I never really think about this. Like the question, what do you get up for every day? What's your purpose of getting up every day? A lot of us have that question in our minds and we don't even know how to answer it. The purpose behind that is to do what is called a character assessment. So I have your numbers. I will be getting in contact with you all. Right, those who didn't hand it in as yet, you will just leave it with Miss John before you leave, right? And I will be in contact with you all. If you all want to do a follow-up, we will do a follow-up. We could do a personal, we could do an interpersonal one. I also offer that service too as well, right? I want to see you all succeed. I look forward to next year seeing the testimonies and hearing the testimonies of the individuals in here about where their business is currently at. So we take a note. What today is? What date it is? The 19th? 20th. Right. Today is October the 20th. I like numbers. Today is half of if you do the month is the 10th month, right? And it's the 20th day. So it's like 10, 10, 10. That's 3. Thank you. So understand something, right? I won't get into it no further with it, but I will just tell you all this is a significant day. It's a significant day for you all. It's a significant day for the persons out there. Take note of it. 20th of October, 2024, I want to hear the success stories. Definitely. Right? I want to hear the success stories. I want to hear the challenges. I like to hear the challenges. People like to only talk about the good. talk about the bad too as well. That's how we learn from each other, right? The testimonies. That's how we learn. You might be in a similar business and you heard of something that he did and you realize he was about to do it and you saw what happened. You learn. We're supposed to learn from each other. Plenty times people see persons fall and they laugh and they point. And by the time they turn around, they didn't realize it was an open manhole behind them and whoops, they fall down too now. It wasn't intentional, but you have to be careful. If you see a brother fall, you see a sister fall, you see them going through something, that's not an opportunity for you to pray on them. Pray for them. Try to help. Lift them up. As entrepreneurs, we need to have that community where we lift up each other. Mr. Ali didn't tell you all something, which another thing is under his belt. He is a member of the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship. I wonder if you want to give them a little thing about what the fellowship is about. A small tease.
Again, that's just, everybody have their own, persuasion when it comes to how you worship, who you worship, which holy book you read. And like I said, I'm a Christian, so I'm a member of Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International. You can Google it and you can get all the information. We are just business and professional men, right? In Christ. So everyone goes to their different churches, whether it's Presbyterian Church, Roman Catholic Church, Full Gospel Church, it doesn't matter, and we get together as men to study the word, right? So I belong to the Shogunas chapter, so we meet every Thursday, 7 o'clock at one of the men's home, we have a meal, we discuss business, and then, we pick a topic and somebody do the education for that evening. And as you would see on our website, our mission is to win souls to the kingdom. And very important, our motto is that we're the happiest people in the world. All right? So that's why I like to spend a lot of time making sure that people are comfortable and, that we're having a good time and that we can be happy. All right? Because we have a lot to be happy for. All right?
So that's another part, right? So you see, and that's why I'm saying being an entrepreneur is fun. The more deep dive you go, you get to realize there are so many things available, so much things I could do, so much people I could meet, so much different avenues. Like, okay, it's not just about this. It's like, all right, it's have that and it have that. It's not just about things. It's about equity and sweat equity and this, and then it have the full gospel men where we could sit down and discuss business and discuss. There's so much. There's so much fun being an entrepreneur. And I love you all for being here. I want to say that again. I believe you all right. So we ain't finished apparently as yet. Nalis, of course, we have to say thanks again. Livestream TT. Follow them. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. These are some young professional men who have invested. You heard from Shane Fraser, who is the owner, founder of the company, and he showed you how he lived on a ramen just to make sure that he could buy these cameras, that we could get 1080p and 4K production. No, he isn't here today because he's on another job. Started off just before COVID, survived COVID, and is here today. Dedication. So we also want to thank Nalis. So I believe you are, yes, comfort. All right. So this is Miss John. I want you all to give Miss John a round of applause. And I will tell you why. This idea was birthed between myself and Miss John, through Miss John being part of my one-on-one mentorship and entrepreneurial boost program. I do one-on-one sessions. And from that, she was like, listen, this has to go a little further. And she started developing it. We started speaking, did a proposal, and here we are today. Opportunities. opportunities. So, Ms. John, give her a round of applause again because of her, we are here today. Ms. John?
Just before, if I may, just before Miss John, right? Because even for myself, I want to say to you that it's nice to see an initiative coming out from a state entity, like NALIS, for this sort of impartation of knowledge. And I think that's excellent on your part and whoever else took the decision to do this and make it happen. Congratulations for that. From the business sector, we look for those things. We like to see that partnership taking place. You facilitate these things, and I can tell you there are so many more people just like myself that will be happy to come and share with these people. You just let me know whichever categories, and I can tell you there are many people. And earlier we started a conversation. I know you weren't too happy, Miss Millionaire, with with Netco. And so you weren't happy in going to Netco, but I just want to, just for the record, that Netco is a great source of startup capital for entrepreneurs. So whatever experience that you had, right, I would really like for you to share it with me, right, and for us to probably see what went wrong the first time and to approach Netco again, because I know that Netco is, that they have helped many people, hundreds, probably thousands, right? And sometimes it's just the approach. Sometimes it's just you meet the wrong person on the wrong day, right? So I just want to clear it up on behalf of Netco, because again, we appreciate what they do, right? And let's see if we can correct that. All right. Thanks. Sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. Well, I just wrote down my vote of thanks because there are so many persons that I can thank that assisted with making today a reality. So on behalf of the NALIS Public Libraries Division and the Port of Spain Adult Library, we would like to thank the Entrepreneurial Journey team for making this workshop a success. We would like to thank Mr. Zamnat Billy Ali. Thank you, sir. It was amazing today. Thank you for the information. We would like to thank Rondell Fields, who was here yesterday. I know lots of you all were excited as well. We would like to thank Mr. Sherlon Gludor. Thank you for the live stream. We would like to thank Mr. Shane Fraser. Even in his absence, he was here the other 2 days. They live stream TT. They are part of live stream TT, and they definitely assisted us greatly. This is something that NALIS could not do on their own, but we were able to partner with them. So we say thanks. We would like to thank none other than Mr. Brent Codrington, the mastermind behind this entrepreneurial journey project. It has definitely been a success. I got so much information. I have so much notes. I am definitely going to go back into all of that. Apart from that, we would also like to thank NALIS officials. We have our Director of Public Libraries, our Librarian 4, Ms. Sherilyn Commoner Batiste. Our director is Ms. Primity Passad. She ensured that this project came on stream. She definitely pushed for us to have this. We have Ms. Debbie Ramkilawan. She's our Librarian 3. We have Casey Wilkinson. We have Laurie Gosine. And we have the PR marketing department. We also had the security department that assisted. We had so many people behind the scenes that assisted to make this a huge success. It was definitely worthy of it. We would also like to thank our sponsors. We have Eastern Credit Union. Thanks to them. And for the pens, Mr. Ali, thank you very kindly. We would also like to thank you all, our attendees. I wish you all the best in each and every business endeavor that you all partake in, and we look forward to more workshops. So please visit the Port of Spain Adult Library Facebook page. That is where you'll get all the information, where we will be posting. Well, I post. I will be posting all the other upcoming programs that we have for adults. So please visit our page, like it, and we also have a little board in front of the library right before the scanners. Just take a little look, peep at it. It starts with what's going on. It tells you what's going on in the library. So take a little look and see what's going on, because we have a lot of things coming on stream. This Saturday, we have a self-publishing workshop as well. So you all could get involved in that. We have the Living Library in celebration of Calypso History Month. We have an event that will take place on the 28th of October. We have Brother Mudada who will be here, as well as some other Calypsonians. So you all need to look and see what's going on at your library. We're not the typical library that we used to be. We have way more going on. So just take a look and make sure and like and share. So thank you, guys. I'd just like to give out some tokens quickly. Thank you kindly on behalf of Nalis. This is a small token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for all your assistance today. And Mr. Brent Crutchington, thank you so very much for all that you did. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I want to say thanks to Nalis for responding to a proposal that was sent in the afternoon, and the next morning I got a phone call. That was Miss Parvati. That was the person that would have called the director, Primati. She responded the next morning. She said, "Hi, morning." I said, "Morning." She said, I get hundreds of proposals, but this one jumped out at me." I said, "Okay." She said, "This is something that I envisioned, that I dreamt about doing at the library, for the library, since January this year. But I just haven't found the time to put it together. And you basically put everything together that I had in mind and more in 3 pages of letters. I just need for you to send me this, that. I said, "Send me what you want again this afternoon and I'll have it." By that afternoon, I sent what they needed. Approval was given. And let me tell you, it goes to show that, like I said, as Mr. Ali said it, be a living testimony. That's living testimony. That's active testimony. That if you make a step, you take a risk, the rewards. Once, as he also said, you do your research, because believe me, I can't give you the letter, but if you saw that letter, Ms. John would have saw it, the information that was placed in there, the research that was done, the details that were placed in, the coverage, everything, it was proper. Hence the reason there was an immediate response. It wasn't that, "Hey, morning, I want to do something by your place." No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. Mr. Ali touched on that, and that's another thing about entrepreneurship presentation. No matter whether it's written or visual, your presentation. I want to thank you all once again for being here. Those that were here that couldn't make it today, thank you all. Those that have been looking on for the all 3 streams, we thank you. Stay tuned. There's a lot more to come. And for those that are here, like I said, we have your numbers. The next project that comes up, you will get first preference. You will get the call. You will get the invite, because you have made that step. I want to see the success stories in 12 months' time, right? I want to hear your 1 million turnover All right. I want to hear how much trucks you buy. I want to hear how much books you've been doing. I don't know what you into, but you look like you have a couple things well under your belt. My boy, I want to see that clothing store. Don't feel like I'm taking notes of everybody that's here. Healing and wellness. I want to see that store set up. All right? So don't feel it's because you're individual. And remember each and everybody and what they're for. And that's another part of entrepreneurship too as well. Right? Because that's how you give the support. Motivational. Reach out to each other. You all meet some new persons here. I hope everybody may have. If you haven't, try and get a number. Stay in contact because you never know how it is your business could connect with his and your business could connect with her. You never know. But this is how you get to find out your research. Right? Blessings to each and everyone. Thanks again. Thank you to Nalis. Thank you to all my facilitators, Rondell Fields, Mr. Billy Ali. Right? Thank you to Shane Fraser. Thank you to Sherlon. Thank you to Livestream TT. And thank you to Pan American, Eastern Credit Union, Millennium Brokerage. There's so much. So much. I just want to say thank you from the Entrepreneurial Journey Workshop. This is day 3, the closing. It's a sad but happy day because I'm happy to see, sad to see we go, but I'm happy to know that everyone has been impacted in a positive manner, both who are here and both who have been on the stream. Blessings in all your endeavors. Everyone, even those locked on, blessings in your endeavor. Follow the patterning. And of course, be an entrepreneur. And be an entrepreneur that makes an impact. Share. Share. Come out of here and let's get up here. Love and blessings to everyone. Reach home safely.
Thank you very much.